Sold. Tim here from Oracle Investments. Well, I was wrong in a few cases. So, first I want to clarify some things from last night's ETF video. Rocky was mentioning some things about Devo is also a growth ETF. We'll discuss more in depth about that tonight. And the app that is coming out is actually by David. Apologize, Q and David are two of my Italian subscribers on here who are both going to be at the castle in the future. So we'll look forward to that. Just wanted to clarify those things and get correction. And now I was also wrong about Elon's sales. Listening to Dave Lee made a very compelling argument, made it sound like Elon was going to be done. But then I thought about something last night after everything, and I said, you know what? Elon loves memes, and there's a meme out there, that says, what was it? Christopher Columbus, died at least 50 years ago. Well, yeah, and the exaggeration of it. So perhaps that's where Elon was going with this, because Elon sold more yesterday. We saw it in the morning. I had tweeted about it. Many other people had tweeted about it and mentioned it as well. It definitely started the day looking like Elon was selling. And then Dave Lee had his tweet come out and the whole market turned around. So I don't know if Dave Lee's tweet kind of opened people's eyes and they started flooding back in. Truly don't know, but the facts are he did sell and the Form 4 filings were out. Looks like there's actually a second form that has yet to come out, because the first one shows that he has exercised just almost 2.1 million shares worth of options and has sold about 530,000 shares. So the second Form 4 filing, which is similar to every other time he has done it, because they can only fit 30 rows per Form 4 filing. So it looks like there will be a second one coming out, and we'll most likely get to that 934,000 shares sold. And I'm hoping over the course of today we will see that. So on tonight's video I can address it and give you actual updated numbers. I updated it based upon the 934,000 shares that he has been selling. So with that, he has now he has sold 8.4 million shares worth of stock from his options and 13.8 million total. So for his options left to sell, he's got 1.8 million. That's 2 lots. And I have another David. So many Davids today. It's the day of Davids. And another David as a subscriber has been my inside man. And so far he has been right. And he said he was going to have 1 sale this week and 2 sales next week. So if that holds true, we will see the 2 sales next week, and then Elon will be done completely, and we will not see any of these in 2022. And now to hit that 10% that we all thought of, which was the 17 million, Elon would still technically have 1.3 million shares left to sell. He cannot do so right now because there's a blackout period from December 16th to January 28th. So he will not be able to sell any of those in that time frame. So whether he's actually going to do that or not, I don't know. So the 10% may have just been a rough ballpark number that he threw out there. Again, he does not have to sell the 10%. It was just part of the Twitter poll. Lots of different factors that are out there. I'm not going to hold his feet to the fire for it, for sure. But just based upon the information we have, that is it. And so far, with all of this, Elon has increased his stake by 5.3 million shares in the company. So we're going to go over another piece of information now, but for those of you, again, who have been seeing the red, kind of getting concerned, and you're looking for these bullish signs, keep in mind that, yes, Elon's been selling his shares, but he's been selling to cover taxes because there's a Babylon Bee interview that he did as well explaining a bunch of this. But he has no other income. He has no other way to pay taxes other than to sell shares of Tesla stock because he is so invested. And now because of this, he's invested even more in Tesla stock. So that's a huge bullish sign. And now pre-market, the stock is still screaming up. It's well over 950 at the moment. So how it's going to trade for the next week and a half, I'm not sure. So I don't know if people are just buying in now. I don't know if people maybe haven't gotten the news that Elon did sell yesterday, so he potentially does have these 2 more sales next week. Again, this is why I just dollar cost average. I use the strategy I use for when the stock does dip, because nobody knows truly what's going to happen or how the stock is going to react. So I do what I do regardless of what is going on with all the news and rumors and everything like that. So again, if it sells next week and it goes red again next week, remember these bullish things about Elon's stake increasing. And I'm going to go over an investors meeting notes from Deutsche Bank. And man, if you aren't bullish before, wait till you hear this. All right, so we've got key takeaways from Tesla include puts and takes for Q4 and fiscal year 2022 margins, volume, and pricing sequentially positive. Raw materials headwind, cost of ramping up Berlin and Austin likely higher than Shanghai due to new vehicle specs and technologies. So while we may have higher costs coming in for Berlin and Austin, it's not strictly because of supply issues or costs going up for goods and materials. It's because their vehicles are going to be better. So that is outstandingly bullish. And despite that, there's strong confidence operating margin will keep expanding over time from the 14% reported in Q3. So they're anticipating margins are going to continue growing higher despite the fact that there are margin headwinds because of better vehicles. What? They also reiterated the run rate of about 600,000 units annualized coming out of Shanghai, which is consistent with what Tesla had been talking about. So they reiterated that, saying that yes, Shanghai is definitely on track to be hitting 600,000 vehicles produced annually as a run rate right about now. And they also mentioned how the US prices are increasing and they're outpacing the commodities, which is why we're seeing the margins growing because the costs are put into there. And a lot of it is because demand is so high, so Tesla has the luxury of being able to raise the prices because they have to, or else lead times are going to be even more insane. We've got currently Model 3s are 6 months plus, Model S and X are 1.3 years plus for a lead time. It's nuts. So it's, as they put it, it is with market demand for EV clearly outstripping industry's ability to produce, success in EV is no longer about order book, but rather about production capacity, ability to secure supply, and best cost, where Tesla feels it has considerable lead, which that's it. Tesla's been in this business longer than anyone else as far as EVs go. They have secured their supply chain. They have, because they were there, they knew what they needed, they planned 5+ years ahead, so because of that, they had everything lined up and ready to go. And, you know, they've got all the knowledge, they've got the experience to do this, and they've got the best costs because they've been doing it for so long. So Tesla does have a crazy lead in that facet. And then they also mentioned FSD and how they're going to be opening it up to owners with a safety score grade of 98. And with that, they're then looking at opening it up to all U.S. customers, which is another 1 million vehicles on the road with FSD. And as far as they see, that's like, all right, now it's out there, people can see it, it will encourage others to get it because they're going to see it, and that will just increase profitability even more. And they did mention the 4680 batteries, where they're at about 90% of the manufacturing process are working at expected run rates. And so Tesla's about 10% left to go on that, and we should be getting an update on the Q4 earnings call, which I would imagine is part of what is going to come with the roadmap from Elon. And then their closing paragraph, all in with considerable volume, cost and operating leverage momentum, we continue to see large upside to 2022 consensus expectations, depending on execution of new factories ramp up and supply chain bottlenecks. Midterm, we believe Tesla's impressive trajectory for its battery technology, capacity, and especially cost will continue to accelerate the world's shift to electric vehicles and extend Tesla's lead considerably. It should also enable Tesla to keep expanding its operating margins, likely exceeding 20% over the next few years, representing best-in-class performance, reiterate, buy. Wow. So again, if you have any wavering conviction whatsoever on Tesla, just listen to this. I mean, it was all bullish all the way through, and that was even with them acknowledging the headwinds that we know about with supply chain issues. They have headwinds, but it seems like these headwinds aren't even really going to slow them down much. According to Deutsche Bank, they'll have headwinds that are going to hit margins, but their margins are still going to exceed what they were last year. So just wait till those headwinds are gone. Wait till the ramp of Austin and Berlin is like where Shanghai is at, and what the margins will look like then. And like they said, 20% in the next few years, that's nuts. So just to get back to what we've been trying to hammer home with all of these Elon sales and the stock being red, there is so much positive stuff coming for Tesla in the future. In my opinion, Tesla is the future of automotive making. EVs are where we are going as a world. Tesla is leading the way, and Tesla has so many more things other than just EVs that they offer that most people don't even consider as a large piece of this because it's still so many unknowns. So as far as I'm concerned, anything that Elon does for sales that brings the stock down is a good thing for us as long-term investors. I will definitely be capitalizing on that if he does sell again next week, as David is letting me know. And honestly, if you guys are concerned about it or you don't have the money to invest, ride it out, because I honestly see a 2022 January run-up into Q4 earnings, and we can see a pretty nice stock price, probably over $1,200 come Q4 earnings. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Elon's sales yesterday and the stock going green. That was awesome to see. And let me know what you think and how excited you are for 2022 for Tesla stock, because I gotta tell you, the next 2 years are gonna be amazing. They're gonna build this great super foundation that is stronger than it already is, and then we'll have just a runway to the future after that. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you and your support. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I will see you guys all later tonight. I will try to update any Form 4 filings if they come out to make sure that we are at the 934,000 shares sold. Otherwise, I will see you then. Have a great one.